bamutwala ng'omulabe waabwe era omulabe w'eggwanga lyonna ne bakukolako na buli kye balina mu buyinza bwabwe. Bino Matembe abyogera mu katabo ke ate ke yasobola okuba ng'awandiika ke bayita The Struggle for Freedom and Democracy Betrayed. Yes, the struggle for freedom and democracy betrayed. Katulibwa mu bookshop zonna okusinziira ku nteekateeka ze nga bwe zitambula. Matembe agamba nti amanyi famire ya President Museveni endya n'ensula oluvannyuma lw'okuweereza mu gavumenti ya NRM okumala emyaka egisukka mu 15. Bamemba ba famire eno okuli ne First Lady Janet Museveni Kataha maama
okutambula n'okumanya kusange ku 75wradio.com.
Thank you for listening to 75 Derby Radio.
If you're searching for something new in style to keep you looking fresh, then Weren't Born Rich is for you. It's not just any clothing brand, it's a movement dedicated to inspiring and empowering you. Due to our founder having sickle cell anemia, Weren't Born Rich want to spread awareness and improve your understanding of the illness. We weren't born rich, but we're sure going to die rich. Shop online and join the movement via our website, weren'tbornrich.com, and connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Remember, stay healthy, stay active, and of course, stay rich. Let your sense of style reflect your hustle. Terms and conditions include a percentage of the proceeds going towards sickle cell awareness charities and organizations.
Ononye ekifo eky'omulembe oba abagenyi bomwe basobola okubeera nga bakirako abali ewaka. Eric Wilkins Apartments Enyanama ng'ovudde ku lw'entebe ky'ekifo kyokka eky'omulembe kiyoyoteddwa bulungi ate nga kitegeke bulungi n'ebibajja eby'omulembe. Oyagala kukola hanemuuno kutwalayo mwagalwa okusanyukirayo oba famireyo ate mwabagala okukolerayo retreats zammwe oba meetings ez'ekyama nga temutaataganyiziddwa mwanirizibwa. Leka tukubudeebude n'abagenyi bo mu ngeri eweesa ekitiibwa ate kuwummuza. Kyalira website yaffe www.ericwilkinsapartments.com oba tukubire ku ssimu +256 785 615 265 okumanya ebisingawo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another big step in our lives. A new story, a new program that might be able to change your life. A lot of times we hold a lot of things into our hearts, things that we find sometimes difficult to convey, either due to our cultural differences, our religious beliefs, or even the circumstances that we live in. The program Come Let's Talk will be an opportunity for you to open up, come and talk. We'll have no boundaries. Of course, the boundaries are within respect and religious or guidelines. We would not go out of those boundaries. But what I mean is, this is an opportunity. It's not me talking to you. It is us having a discussion. And therefore, we will be able to touch very many topics. Topics on culture, topics on faith, topics on politics, topics on economics, and so on. But it's an opportunity for us to have a talking point. The results of the COVID-19 experience since March 23rd, especially in the UK when we went into the first lockdown, has provided a big opportunity to show us the need even to have a community around us. Just a few days ago, when people were allowed to have a kind of a release from the tight restrictions that are available at the moment, people use that opportunity to sort of meet up as families and gather and chat and, have a kind of a conversation. It has become even more important that it is during this lockdown or the COVID-19 situation that we ended up having Zoom, finding the existing other means of communication, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all opportunities that we have had around ourselves. But Zoom has changed the way we communicate, being able to communicate to people in real time without the limitations of how many people can be on. So come, let's talk will be an opportunity for us to touch on these stories and where a big story to start from. Earlier this week, we were saddened by the loss of a very important member of the Uganda Muslim community in the United Kingdom, Haj Suleiman Kavuru. He touched so many hearts. You looked at the different programs that we are running, either on Zoom, either on televisions here in Uganda, for example, online discussions, all opportunities that came by, and people were talking about all the good things that he had done. It got to the point where we got an opportunity to hear from his own children and the kind of heart pouring that came with the messages that they spoke about their father. An opportunity that they might not have had even probably to say to him the very words that we are hearing at the wake or on the vigil that was online. It got me thinking that probably there are times for those who have lost our parents where you sit back and you think, I should have had an opportunity to speak to my father and said A, B, C, D. I never got the opportunity. From our cultural perspective, sometimes even getting to your father and saying, I love you, seems a very big word. We say it when we are children. When we grow up, it feels like we undermine ourselves by saying that. This is the opportunity maybe for us to sort of open up. And it is without any doubt that scientific research has shown how much consolation or help comes from one speaking out on what they feel. And this will be an opportunity for us to try to delve into those particular stories. Bi'idhnillahi azza wa jalla. So I welcome you all on Zoom, on Facebook, on YouTube, live and streaming here on Ummah Connected and on 75W Radio. I'm Kasim Kayira, and for the next 1 hour, we will be together trying to delve into these situations. It is your opportunity to call me in case you have something to say. You can just, raise up your hand if you're on Zoom, but if you just decide to call straight in, listening into W Radio on Facebook, 75W Radio, then the number is +44 205 703 07, +44 77 205 703 07, and we'll be able to hear your stories about your father. I in particular probably would start you off with my own particular experience of my father. We grew up, my father was one of those people that was traveling a lot as a long distance truck driver, away from home a lot of the times, and one of the feelings that would come would be that he was not home, and therefore we ended up spending a lot more time with our mother. At that time in our lives, we didn't get to understand what it actually means. But slowly then you start, as you grow up, you start seeing the realities that come into people's lives, how people, why people probably end up being away. There are fathers who are out there fighting to make sure food is on the table. And for the children, for example, it might go unnoticed. In Islam, for example, the position of a mother is 3 times higher than the father. And therefore, while we'll have an opportunity at some point to speak about mothers, and God bless them, you find that fathers sometimes are sort of left out, and yet they play a very critical role in our lives. So this program today will be an opportunity, and I'd like to hear from you. You can text me, either on the number, you call us on +44 205 703 07, or you can just go to Facebook, leave your message, and we'll be able to read it out live, inshallah. And I was talking about now celebrating my father, and it's not just my father. Think about you yourself out there, thinking and celebrating your own father. For those who have lost our fathers, maybe it's an opportunity to sort of say what you would have said about them. In Islam, The Prophet ﷺ says, إِذَا مَاتَ الْعَبْدُ, when a human being dies, in qata amaluhu, all their actions, all their acts become nothing. Illa min thalathin, except three things that actually matter once you have died. The first thing is sadaqatun jariyah, ongoing charity, charity that you have established that lives beyond your own life. And therefore, for example, you dug a well. That well, for example, people come and get water from it. You dug a borehole, you paid for a borehole, and people are benefiting from the borehole. Every person that benefits from that borehole are rewards that come to you even after you have died. You've planted a tree and people come and feed from the fruits from that tree. That is a benefit that comes directly to you. You've taken on another step. For example, you built a school. Every child that goes and does study from that school is a benefit that still comes to you. You have built a mosque. Everybody who comes and worships in that mosque, you still get the rewards. That is everlasting charity. So that's the first thing that really matters once you have gone. The second thing is our ilmun yuntafa'u bihi. Oh, knowledge that you have achieved. You attained knowledge, but through that knowledge, you use that knowledge now to benefit people. You came up and taught people. You helped people to experience a particular situation that they never experienced before. Everyone who learns from you, that shared knowledge becomes an everlasting reward for you even after you have gone. And then the last thing, أَوْ وَلَدٌ صَالِحٌ يَدْعُ لَهُ. And that is where my point, I think, will be in terms of emphasis. Oh, having a good child that will pray for you once you have gone. Now, a good child, and this is where I really thought, the celebration really can happen in so many ways. You may decide, my father died. I never got an opportunity to tell him that I love him. But I feel I have no doubt whatsoever that I love him so much. What do? You build a school. You build a borehole. You commit it and you say, oh my God, I've built this in the name, in the memory of my father. Let the rewards that come from here get to my father. That's already an act of charity that you have done for your father. So celebrating fathers now, that is for those actually who have, for example, lost them, as I've said, on one hand. But then there is the opportunity on the other hand, those who still have your fathers. You have your father who is still alive. You're still finding it difficult, for example, to say, as I said, culturally sometimes, we struggle to sort of say to your father that I love you. This might be the moment that you call him on +44 77 205 70307, or text me a message and I'll read it out, just to say to your father how you feel about them. That can be celebration in its own way. I've thought about my father, and after he passed on, I was thinking about all the different things that I felt I would have asked him if I had an opportunity. Things that probably would have mattered so much to me if I had had an opportunity to sort of say to him or ask him, that I never got a chance to do. Things that now bother me, but then I realize it is too late. I'm unable to be able to say to that. And all I do is pray for him. Do you have a story to share with us that we can use? Come on, come, let's talk. I'll give you an opportunity just to check. There are already any messages that are already coming in that I can see from our streaming on Facebook. Benjamin Nambali Wamuna, I can see you. Omrangira Baker, that's already on, inshallah. I can see many of you are already turning up, but I would like to hear your stories. This is the opportunity. Just tuned in onto 75 Derby Radio and on Zoom on Ummah Connected, and we're trying to delve into a very important subject of celebrating our fathers. It does not in any way mean that you do not love them, but probably you haven't had a chance to tell them. Please get in touch and we'll get you on and we'll get talking about fathers and the kind of difficulties that they go through. When you read through history, when you check through books and you see everywhere that you see absentee fathers, there are many stories of fathers who have left their homes. People who used to live, for example, Rwanda in the 1940s, in the 1930s, during the colonial times. They would cross and come to Uganda, Gupagasa. That is what they used to call, and that's where the word in Luganda, Abapakasi, came from. They would come to Gopagasa. The person would come to make money. They would come and work on people's farms, initially on colonial plantations, crossing all the way into Kenya. There are people who have been stuck in Kenya in the areas of Kericho, for example, who went to work in the tea plantations and they never returned. These were journeys that were absolutely hard journeys. As a result, the mothers were left now to look after entire families while the fathers were out struggling. Some would get stuck, a person who would go, and then they simply get stuck. They cannot find a way of coming back home. One of my uncles, Sheikh Nur Kayira, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him, he left and went to Congo. I had never seen him actually. We used only to hear about our dad who was called Tata Mzaire. He went into Congo and he went just before independence, and then he ends up getting stuck there. He becomes accustomed to Congo. He married a Congolese wife, ended up with children from Congo, and within the family they had actually given up on him, thinking he had died. So in the family they would actually not consider him as being alive. We had given up actually thinking he was dead. My father, the late Sheikh Maukut Kayira, embarks on a big journey and goes into the Democratic Republic of Congo and starts searching for his brother. The love for his brother was burning in such a way that he couldn't stand, he couldn't wait. And he had a feeling, when you think about the story of Jacob or Yaqub alayhi salam and his son Yusuf or Joseph, and how he got lost nearly 40 years according to some narrations, he never gave up hope. Something kept telling him that, his son was alive somewhere. My father embarks on a journey, goes into the Democratic Republic of Congo, which was then Zaire, trying to find his brother. And while it looked like a fruitless effort, once, twice he was still doing it. A few years would go by and there was no connection whatsoever. This is one person who went into Congo and then totally, cut off. There was nothing. And, there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, there was no mobile phones. Communication, even at the very remotest, would be a telefax. And actually, this was not even available to many people. And so all initial efforts to try to get in touch, get in communication with him were fruitless because there was no way of getting in touch. Everybody was seeming to give up hope that our uncle was even still alive. My father never gave up hope. He went and fought, and finally he comes to discover his brother. It was a change after nearly 40 years of searching, 40 years of looking for his brother when everybody had given up. He manages to find him. It was a very, very emotional situation. Him even coming back, unable to speak the language, because after 40 years of being totally disconnected from anything that was, anything close to home, he came back and he had to start from nearly zero. It was very difficult to even have a conversation around that. And getting him back home, I think, was in itself a very powerful message that was happening then. A big party, a big feast was held to celebrate him. And, beyond that, he lived for another 10 years, I think. And then after those 10, 15 years, he died. But he died when he was back home. His Congolese wife now is fully naturalized as a Ugandan, and the children are back home. But this is one thing that actually, when you think about someone never giving up that hope, and you almost feel like you'd almost have wanted to go and hug your father and say to him, for just this particular action, you deserve all the love that it would be. As a parent, of course, he deserves all the love that we would have had. But this was one thing that was actually very extraordinary. Our parents, our fathers especially as well, go through a lot of things that happen. Like I said, I would like you to call in, share your story, because this is not about me talking down to you. It is about us hearing from one another. That number again, it's +44 77 205 70307, or just go on to Derby Radio, 75 Derby Radio on Facebook, or even on my own Facebook, Kasim Kayira, and then we can have a discussion. I'll be reading those messages. I don't know if there is anyone on Zoom, Isma. Do you have anyone already with their hands up? Would like to hear people's stories now. I think there are a few hands that are heard. There's a message there. My dad, someone just sent a message there. I'd like to be able to read it from afar. My dad is amazing, the first man I ever loved. And this is Umar. Well, that is love now being shared here. I wish your dad could hear that. For those who still have your parents who are still alive, I think this might be a very good moment for you to sort of say out these things. There are certain things that we keep to ourselves, maybe out of shyness because we think we have outgrown these situations. It would feel very comforting to hear from your own parent communicating in that. Muslim child is saying, my father is still here. Yes, Muslim child Sharifa, would you like to share your story? What would you like to say to your father? What would you celebrate about your father? What is it about him that would be different? I know something about him, but I don't know whether that is what you would have wanted to share. Do you mind coming on and let's get Muslim child, please? Isma, you can have Muslim child, please. Muslim child, while we're looking for you, and on our Facebook, I'm still checking as well on my messages.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is that Muslim child Sharifa?
Yes, Nze Sharifa Gigaba.
Naam, nice to hear from you. If you got a
Yes,
moment.
Senor, I really appreciate this program, and it feels like you're actually talking about me, the way I love my father.
Right.
Oh my God, subhanallah.
Naam.
I don't know what I would ever do to actually show him that I really appreciate all the things he has done for me. Nkuze gwenda abayi tata, ye mama. Since my mom passed away.
Yeah.
Yes,
Your mom passed away when you were still young.
Yeah, he has been there for me from day one. I don't know if I'll ever pay him anything. I'm sorry.
No, you don't need to be sorry. This is what this is about. And the fact that he's still alive and he celebrates your success, the fact that you have grown to be who you have become and participated in the Muslim community activities that you are, I think that's a kudos. Sharifa, I know your father, and therefore, is there something particular that probably you remember so much that he has done? You've said he's looked after you, he's been the father, he's been the mother, but is there something special that probably you can remember and celebrate about him?
Yes, there is something special. I remember one day we were leaving work nga tusalamu awo ekibuya awo ng'ovudde kwa parent naye ng'osalamu ekibuya ng'odda katale k'ekibuya tukwata taxi ezidda mu Ndeeba those days. Then emmotoka nejja yalina pickup nzijukira naye was so small nga nkutte ku mukono nejja ne mulinnya engatto nga tuli wakati ne tunyigiriza ffenna naye omutima ne gumpa nga tugenda kufa naye ng'omuzadde emmotoka yali emulinnya ekigere emwabizza ebigere n'engatto zaabise naye n'asalawo n'ansitula waali.
Wow.
So I'll never forget that moment. Honestly speaking, fathers are something else. I cannot even compare to anything. That was one of the moments I'll never forget in my life.
Oh, brilliant. Barakallahu fikum. Well, that is a message there's a message from Shadia Zak here who says, take heart, Sharifa. She's actually empathizing with you. And Kasim Jumba says he's following from Sugar Shamire in Nyamitanga, all the way, is it Nyamuhanga? All the way down in Ankole. And this one said, Laila Kaddu says, my dad died when I was still young. I grew up with my lovely uncle who treated me like his own. Bless him. You see, these are some of those special things that actually people go through that sometimes you don't get to know. If there is anybody else, please, I can see Sarah Birunji's hand is up. Sarah Birunji, please go ahead. Celebrating your father. Yes, Sarah Birunji, you are online. You are live. Sarah Birunji, you're live. Let's get Nambari Ramuna while Sarah Birunji gets ready. Nambari Ramuna, please, you're live on.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Celebrating your father.
You all, Banange. Thanks for this slot. It's such a beautiful slot.
Amen.
It makes us to think about our fathers because they are part of our lives.
What is it about your father?
My father is still around.
Amen.
I'm so grateful of him because I am who I am because of him.
Now.
From childhood, he's someone I admired. From childhood, to an extent, I say, I want to be like him. I want to be like you. Every time you could come back home in the evening, it was like 5-6 years. We had a white and black TV. I would go behind the TV when he's reading the news on UBC. And I would start telling my sisters, you know what? I want to enter in this TV. I want to be like Dad. Whenever I would come back at home, I would tell him, you know what, Dad, I saw you in the TV reading news. How do I enter in this TV inside? He told me, you know what, study hard. One day you will see yourself in the TV. But I said, I've already seen you inside the TV. How do you enter in the TV? For me, I used to think they enter through the TV behind. Those black and white big boxes.
Yes.
So it's like, you have to study hard. When you study hard, you will become a newsreader. You will become a journalist like me.
Yes.
I grew up only knowing that I have to be a journalist. And I ended up being so. Because I used to admire him, the way he was presenting himself, how he was talking.
Now, Muna, have you ever had a chance to say to him that you love him? Because sometimes in an African setting, we find it difficult to express these kind of feelings. Have you had a chance?
Me with my dad every day.
No.
I'm in German, but every day I call him up very early in the morning. Papa, you know what? Wake up and we pray, Tahajjud.
No.
Says what? Yeah, wake up and we pray. Then he tells me, why do you always wake me up? I told him, it's because I love you so much. When we wake up and we pray together, it reminds the way you used to wake us up in the morning. Wake up and we pray every day.
Muna, thank you very much. Barakallahu fikum. Barakallahu fikum.
Let us wake up and we pray together.
Yeah. Yes.
All of us, the way we were born.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Behind him and we pray.
Thank you very much.
When
Barakallahu
I see
fikum.
such a slot, it reminds me of my dad. Every day I tell him, you know, Papa, whatever happens, remember that nothing happens without Allah's knowledge. And he calls me at home, my shekat. He tells them that is my shekat every time. What is my shekat? Even when we lost our elder sister, he said, only my shekat can make me to calm down.
Barakallahu fikum, Muna. I can see so many hands up, and I'd like to give them an opportunity to be able to also say.
Thank you for being there for us.
Thank you very much.
And also teaching us
Ameen.
how to be good citizens.
Can I teach someone to be a good citizen? Thank you very much, Muna. Barakallahu fikum. I see a message here from Mayambara. Sheikh Mayambara says, my father, Umwarim Mayambara says, my father, Sheikh Ismail Kezara, is dead. But was a special dad, loved us, taught us the deen, made us love to study both theology and secular, and remember his recitation of the Quran, his preaching styles, etc. Mwalim Mayambara, barakallahu fikum. Another message here says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Sharif from Freetown, Sierra Leone. I love the program so much. I lost my dad 10 years ago. Oh, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on him. Thank you very much for connecting. That's the whole world now actually watching this program in this particular moment in time. On my Facebook page, I've seen a couple of messages as well coming in. This one is from Moobs, who says, my father is my hero because he was there for me from my childhood. I remember when he was an engineer in UTC bus transportation. We used to go together just for the choking from the morning up to the evening. My daddy is called Zubairi Mubarak. I love him so much. May Allah always protect him. Grace's hand is up. Grace Woj. There's someone on the call who has taken up the chance to call on +44 77 205 70307. Your name, please, on the line.
Hello.
You're live.
My name
Hello.
is Hira. I'm
It's Heart of Love. I think you're through. You're through the line. All I see is Heart of Love. You are through on 75 Derby Radio. About your father.
my name is Hira.
Yeah.
And I'm 7 years old.
Yeah.
And all that I want to say about my dad,
Yeah.
that he's really nice.
Wow.
And when I'm sad, he makes me happy.
Well.
Even when we're hungry, he took us to McDonald's.
Oh.
He's a very nice man that I met from my mom.
Oh, wow. And what's your dad's name?
Ismail.
Ismail. Oh, lovely. And you get the chance now to tell to him, if you are speaking to him now, what would you say to him?
I love you,
Yeah.
and I was saying that you're a really nice dad, and you're the best dad in the world.
Oh, bless you, bless you, bless you. Barakallahu fikum. He's crying actually, he's tearing. It's very emotional. He had your message and he's tearing here. I can see him. It just gave me a little bit of a tear as well to my eye. Well, you can as well call in. Thank you very much, my dear. What's her name?
Tahira.
Tahira.
Yeah.
Oh, barakallahu fikum. Nice to hear from you. And thank you very much for calling in. Layla Ndinda is saying, who is the father? The man who gave birth to you or the man who raised you? I think that's the question. Well, maybe this is the opportunity to answer it. I can see many hands up, and probably you can just take the opportunity. I think there are people who are actually coming via the watch party on Facebook who are also trying to raise their hands. Grace, I've seen, Grace Boji, I've seen your hand. I don't know how to get through to you. I can see on the Facebook side of things. I'll try and see. Probably you could type a message and I could read it out. Or alternatively, actually, we can give you a mic on the watch page, and then you'll be able to comment or say what you wanted to say there. Many messages still coming in. I see hands up as well. I'll be picking you very shortly. I can see who is that. Is that Hani? Laila Kaddu. Well, she's already sent in the message. Let's get her. Let's hear from her, please. Laila Kaddu, your dad passed away a while ago. How do you celebrate him? Hello, Laila. Are you there? She's gone mute. Let's go to Hani. I can see Hani. Oh, she's up now. Laila Kaddu, celebrating dad. Laila, we can hear you. You're already unmuted. I can hear you. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are talking dads. We're celebrating dads. About your daddy.
Sheikh Kayira program, I know. Then I was really happy. Alhamdulillah. Kati nze Sheikh Kayira, I'll say nze sala kutata wange yafa ndi muto sana bako. Naye ne kulane one of my uncles. Sheikh Kayira sawa ko kunaku. Nanda go mukwano ng'omwana. Nga ne wendwala situla. Nantwa mu ddwaliro nsama yasinya taata wange namanya aligenda kufumbirwa. Then saidi ya taata wange muto ne bajja ne banniraga n'okulaga nti ffe baganda ba taata wo basenga bange naye nga nakula ne taata gwe mmanyi nga gwe nganti is the best dad yaba ye best dad nga ku ssomero newajja nga alirate amanyi nga tumaze okuwumula muli awo mutudde ku mufaliso gyammwe mulinda abakime nga newajja 2 minutes late yeetonda n'abaha nagamba naye I'm sorry traffic.
Wow.
Era obanga oli kunongo ina muzaddewo mbadde omuyisaamu amaaso tuli ku bulaatu mwezi olwataano nga muzeeyi amanyi waliwo abazadde batafa ku baana baabwe n'oba olina omukwano gwa taata ogwo oba manya forgive blessed.
Yes. Barakallahu fikum. Naam. Amanyage yani, let's get a mention. Let's get a mention for that special dad. Amanyage yani. Naam. Haji Sulaiman Kajimun Simbe. Okay. Thank you very much, Layla. Sulaiman Kajimun Simbe, barakallahu fikum. Thank you for being a very good dad to Layla Kaddu. Message here from Yasin who says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My father is Haji Ali Serunjoji. He's still alive, greatest teacher, confident, and taught me all about Islam. He has taught me on how to be selfless, treat people always helpful, and show mercy to everyone you always meet in life. Show respect. That is, his name is Yasin Rutamaguzi. We are live on Facebook. Remember, you can call into the studio and well as have your word on plus 4477 and we are celebrating fathers. More messages actually flowing in. I can see a message from Mariam Raju who says, my dad was my everything. He taught me a lot, alhamdulillah. May Allah forgive his shortcomings. I'm assuming now he's late. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on him. Abu Jamal says, excellent program. Network is poor. Not on my side. That is Farida and Tege. We are perfectly fine and we can hear. It was Laila Kadu's, I think, line that wasn't very good. Let's go to Hani and then we'll go to Hajat Sarah binti Kasim. Hani, please. Those on Facebook, I'm trying as much as possible to get to you. And if maybe you cannot get through because of the network, please just write up a message. I can see Grace Boji's hand up. I'm trying to see if we can get you via the watch party. But now we are Hani. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. Who is your daddy?
Rashid.
Your dad is Rashid?
Yes.
Yes, and what would you like to say to him?
His favorite color is green.
Yes.
And he likes to take us to the park and he plays football with us.
Oh, yeah. What is your daddy's name? What did you say is your daddy's name?
And he makes me laugh.
He makes you laugh. Okay. What's your daddy's name? Rashid. Okay. And so what would you like to say to him? Do you love him? Have you ever said to him that you love him? Have you told him that you love him? How much do you love him?
A lot.
A lot. How this big? This much? How much?
A lot.
Can you measure the a lot? Yeah? Thank you very much, Hadi. Thank you. And Daddy Rashid, I think you should be proud. You've got a son that loves you. You take him to the park, you take him for food, and he loves you to the moon and back. Hajati Sara binti Kasim, please. Next on there. And I'll be checking the messages on Facebook as well. And just to say that we are also live on YouTube, on Ummah Connected, as well as on Zoom and on 75 W Radio. You can call us on plus 4477 205 70307. I'm Kasim Kayira and the program is Come, Let's Talk. Today the topic is celebrating fathers, alive or deceased. Same story. Yes, Hajat Sarah binti Kasim, please. About your dad. She's not unmuted. Hajat Sarah binti Kasim, are you there? Let's go to Yunus Rubega. I see a hand while Hajat Sarah settles in. Yunus Rubega, I think he's calling all the way from Canada, joined all the way from Canada. Sheikh Yunus Rubega, are you there? Assalamu alaikum. Yunus Rubega, is he unmuted? Let's try Hajat. Yes, Yunus Rubega, assalamu alaikum. I'm gathering you are calling and joining us all the way from Canada. We are celebrating fathers. What is it about your father? Is he still alive or gone?
No, my father, alhamdulillah, is resting. May Allah grant him Jannat al-Firdaus.
Allahumma ameen.
And all those that left before him,
Ameen.
after him.
Ameen.
But thank you very much. This is a good program to put on, and I'd like to thank all the brothers and sisters that have come forward to share their experiences and how they feel about their parents. Alhamdulillah.
Ameen.
It's you know, I think the word "I love you" is the hardest to say in our culture.
Did you ever get a chance to say to your daddy that you love him?
And in Uganda particularly, it's interesting. Even where you want to say say it, you feel like they say mwana kole chejo. But really, it helps whether we're talking with our parents, talking to our spouses or children. I think it's always appreciated. It's about knowing how you feel about other people and how they matter in your life. But really, parents, mothers, first and foremost, because in Islam we're told, mother.
There are three levels.
Three times more deserving of recognition than the father. But the thing is, fathers tend to influence us a lot, especially boys, I think, in many ways.
You need a father figure. So, Haji Nusubega, you have not answered my question yet. Did you get an opportunity to say to your father before he was deceased that you love him? Did you get a chance to tell him that you love him?
I'll tell you frankly and honestly, never. Because, again, the culture is such that I don't know how to explain it. Probably it's easier in the West.
Yes.
But in the Ugandan context, especially in central Uganda, the Baganda people, I think very, very few people. Actually, the parents have told us.
Do your children then, have your children said, I love you to you then, Yunus Rubega?
Of course they do. You are born in the West, raised in the West.
No.
So, alhamdulillah, there's no problem. But sometimes you regret the fact that you never give yourself a chance to say, Daddy, I love you,
Now, if you are to get a chance, if it was to happen that you could get to speak to him now, what would you say to him?
I would say I love you, I would say I appreciate the fact that he set me on the right path.
Yes.
The advice he gave me, I would appreciate that. But above all, I think, indeed, I never gave my father trouble.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. You can ask Uncle Rahman if you want. I never gave him trouble. I was a trouble-free kid.
Bless you, Haji Yunus Rubega. And I'm only leaving you because there are so many hands up across on Facebook as well, where I'd like to bring in some more people. I've got here a message from Ben Benjamin who says, Subhanallah, my dad is still alive. I love him to bits, but I've never told him so. So to my daddy, I love you. This is an opportunity. Come, let's talk. The program, he's saying to his daddy, and he says, I love you, Dad, and will always do everything in my power within my means to make you happy. But just like you took care of me when I was a toddler. He continues to say, I pray that Allah safeguards you and solves all your worries, protects you from all illnesses, and grants you Jannat Firdaus. Salima Namatovu here says on Facebook as well, on the watch party, on 75 Derby Radio, she says, my father died almost 3 years ago now, but I have no doubt that he knew how much I loved him and how much he meant to me. I'd often call him Haji Wage because he was my person, or he knew. Adi Maweje says, no matter how old we become, we'd always be our daddy's little masters. They've brought laughter, happiness, and triumph to our lives. We love you, Dad, more than anything on earth. These are all messages coming in. On Zoom, I see, Muslim child we've already had. Shadia who says, MashaAllah, Mona, may Allah keep the relationship stronger between you and your daddy. Nax says, very emotional topic, especially when our dads are gone. And Farida Mitiana here says, first time I told my dad I love him, he laughed a lot, but now he's so used to it, alhamdulillah. Not many times do we get to say to that. I've hugged my mother several times and it feels a bit weird, but then you get used to it, and I've said to her, I love you. And it's just a priceless way that you would be able to say to that. Celebrating daddies and coming to Hajat Sarah binti Kasim. Hopefully now the line has cleared. Hajat Sarah binti Kasim, celebrating your father.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Share wewe linyo program wenu.
Amin.
Chotukoze Allah kusasulimu ekisingo bulungi.
Allahumma amin.
My dad was Sheikh Kasim Mulumba.
Oh, barakallah. I know him. Yes.
Allah gwe yakoola ku Christmas Day. Kati buli lwenda abantu nga celebrating Christmas day ngate nze mpulira nti ndi mu pain. Always Christmas is reminding me my dad. Tata waffe yatwagala nnyo ffenna naye abaana abawala yatwagala nnyo ak'ensuso. Teyatuyitako mannya gaffe n'olunaku n'olumu ng'atuyita bamaama be. Tata waffe yayimanyi yayita mu bizibu bingi nnyo abamumanyi era nkakasa abantu abasinga mwenna mumumanyi. Naye nsaba buli musiraamu yenna n'atali musiraamu bw'abanga ddadi wange alina gwe yaleka asobezza oba gwanyiizizza, nsaba musonyiwe. Yayitidde bannange asobola okunsonyiyira taata wange bw'aba alina kye yakola amunsonyiyire ku lwalira.
Amin. Hajjat Sara binti Kasim, barakallahu fikum. Tusabire mukadde waffe Allah amuwe ekiwumula eky'emirembe gyali yonna ne byeyakolera obusiraamu byonna bikomewo. Mbadde nsaba okomezeewo message waliwo eyamuseemu katonaawo. I'd just like to read this message. It is from Thalatha and it says, my Baba Haj Ibrahim Mpira, that is my Cesara. May Allah be pleased with you for all you did for us, your children and all our family members and friends. You are and will always be my role model. We are what we are because of your persistence on raising us upon the deen. May Jannat Firdaus be yours for keeps. Barakallahu fikum, hosts. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you very much. Messages coming in through on my Facebook page. I see Haji Amri here who says he'd like to say Allah, he loves his father so much and says, Assalamu alaikum, Brother Kasim. I love you for the sake of Allah. I visited your place 2 times with Umar Nyanzi during Eid festival. Keep the messages coming in and we will read them as they come through. Just to remind you, in case you want to call us directly into the studio, the number is +4477 205 70307. The program is Come, Let's Talk. It is your opportunity now to get your heart out there, pour out your heart, and let us know what you feel. Tricia, Gloria Nabai, I can see you. Ali Twaha, I can see you. Grace Bogia said, Abubakar Mamlaki, I can see you are following all the way from Chicago in the United States of America. We'll take in some more messages before we take in another line. I can see Said Katende. I think he's in Virginia. That's the VA in the United States of America. Let's hear from you, Said Katende. Celebrating fathers, alive or gone?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, brother, for the show. It's a wonderful moment for us to
Amen.
share. My dad is still living.
Amen.
He's been a single dad for the last 28 years.
Oh.
He's the best dad I ever known. Alhamdulillah. He actually doesn't call me his son. He calls me his brother.
Wow.
That's how lovely he is.
Mm-hmm.
So, one touching moment is when I was still young. He took me to a boarding school called Mende Karema. So he did shopping for me, but the only thing he never shopped, because maybe he didn't have enough money or he forgot, was a watch. So he told me, let's get ready and go. I hid somewhere and I refused to go to school because he didn't shop the watch. So he asked me, why are you hiding? I told him, Dad, you bought everything but not a watch.
Yeah.
Dad pulled off his watch, very nice watch, and gave it to me. That's one of the memorable things. But most times he doesn't make any decision without calling me. I'm the 5th born, we are 8, but he never ever does anything without calling me.
Oh, Barakallah. So, you haven't mentioned his name.
I'm talking about single moms.
You haven't mentioned his name, Said.
Single dads out there. Thank you, brother.
You haven't mentioned his name, Said. I haven't heard his name.
My dad is Haruna Mochivi.
No.
His residence is in Kazo,
Naam.
Kawempe.
Barakallahu fikum. Haji Muchibi, if you can hear this, wherever you are, Your son is so proud of you. And that watch moment, we are doing a watch party here. Therefore, Barakallahu fikum. Message here from Farida Ntege, quite emotional, says, my dad is still alive. I love him so much and he knows. However, we had so many amazing uncles who have fantastically fulfilled dad's position from since I was a child until today. Even as an adult, as far as I'm concerned, they are all my dads. And I love them so much. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them. Another message from Mariam Raju. Mariam Raju says, the truth is we can't pay anything to our parents. Okujjako dua zokka. We have to pray for them all the time, not only in prayers, but may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them Jannat Firdaus. Haji Kasim Murumba, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him Jannah. That's a message, I think, from Muslim Child. We've already had her. And let's go to the hands now. Actually, on Facebook, I think many people who are on the watch party, we haven't forgotten you. It's just the connection is proving a bit difficult to get you in. But Tricia Gloria Nabai says, I love my daddy with all the quacks involved in it. Barakallahu fikum. May he be blessed. And I see a message here from Shami Senku. Says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Special message to my daddy, who I love so much. And we can cross now to the Zoom calls. I can't see any more hands there. See, now we've already had Hani. Farida Hussein, I think she wants to say something. So Farida Hussein is right there. Farida Hussein, please. It's about daddy. What do you say about your dad? Unmute, please. And I can see while we wait for Farida Hussein to unmute herself, Omwari Mayambar has come in again. He had already sent in the message, but I think something is burning within him. Sometimes you just hear someone speaking and then immediately just evokes something so special that comes in. I just mentioned about my daddy. That one incident of looking after and looking for his brother made all the world, for the family. Actually, it was one thing that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would grant him Jannah, he went out for his brother and he managed to bring him. Leave alone the fact that he brought us up in the best way possible. In fact, many of us who had religious studies from home, we were homeschooled. And when people talk about homeschooling, sometimes you forget that. You wake up after Fajr in the morning, you pray after prayers, you're going to sit with your Yasarna and you start reciting. Those people in Christian homes, for example, who are also part of this discussion tonight, you are brought up in such a way that you start your day with prayer in the morning. In fact, one time we used to go, because I went to a Catholic school, and one of the things actually ended up being an altar boy, and many people don't know that. But I was in Liantonde at Chijukizo St. Martin Primary School, St. Gonzaga Secondary School, that particular place where you have the church. And the priest would always come in, and whenever he came in the morning, the first thing he started his message was count your blessings. People would come in and they would be desperate. They would be thinking about their poverty and so on. But he always emphasized one thing. He says, count your blessings, and then we'd start doing the count. It's quite amazing how many blessings we have, and sometimes we forget them. So definitely our parents are high up there. Mwani Mayambara comes to say he was both a secular and theology teacher, taught in schools like Kasawo, a long-term serving imam, used to teach us, imagine from 3 a.m. to Fajr himself on a daily basis without failing. Message here, lots of messages are from people who have already spoken, and therefore I'll give just the opportunity to those who haven't spoken. Sawiya, daddies. I can see Sawiya online there. Sawiya, at the bottom, please. The next one. No, Sawiya is just next there. Yes, please. Sawiya,
yes.
We are talking daddies. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I don't have much to say, because this is really getting so emotional for me right now, because I've got a few people that have been in my life,
yes,
growing up as an orphan, who didn't experience having their dad, their real dad in life. However, I have been handled by so many fathers, so many dads that I'm appreciative to. And I can't go on to mention every single one of them, because it actually makes me very emotional. That's all I've got to say.
Ameen. Barakallahu fikum. Here, this one calls himself. No, let's go to Barakallahu fikum. But Sawiya, amongst all the daddies that you've spoken about, the different people that you went through, in your life, probably there are particular moments that you remember that stand out. One particular thing that someone did, and you just thought, well, this is one person, this is one thing that I'll always remember. Anything that stands out in particular?
I would like to share a moment
Yeah.
with one of my dads that he didn't go to school a lot, but when I was going to school, instead of paying school fees, he's a butcher. He used to send meat to the headmaster, and then, that's a way of paying for my school fees. In that way, I knew how much he loved me. Even up to date, he calls me all the way from Uganda and just says to me, I just want to hear your voice and to know how much I love you.
Wow. These are things that actually never go away. Thank you very much, Sawiya. Just for purposes of time, that's the reason I'm bringing in someone else. The Hani we have already had, but she insists Hani didn't speak, and therefore there is an opportunity for them. Just a quick message while we unmute Hani. There's a message from Gaddafi Mayanja here, which says, shouts out to my late dad, Al-Haji Njuchi. Anyone will know him as a journalist who was very well known, and a journalist to Idi Amin Dada during the 70s. Loved you so much, and you nurtured us into what we have become now. May Allah grant you Jannat Firdaus. Very emotional program, as many of you are saying. Remember, you can call in if you can't get online. +4477 205 70307, or just go to 75W Radio on Facebook, or just join the Zoom. The mark is there. It is, our Zoom is Ummah Connected, both on YouTube and on the Zoom page. Hani, you have an opportunity. Hani, what do you say about Daddy? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How old are you, Hani?
9.
You are 9 years old.
Yes.
Yes, and what is it about Daddy that you would like to say?
I like to say that I love my daddy so much, it's too much to even be measured.
Yeah.
He takes us out to special places. He makes sure I'm the best husband I can be, and he always tells me stories of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so I can learn more and be a better Muslim.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's very nice. Is there something special that you remember about your daddy, that whenever you think about him, that's the one thing that you can remember, one thing that you can mention? You've mentioned many, teaching you Quran, telling you good stories, taking you out, looking after you. But is there something, one thing that you can mention that is so special about Daddy?
I remember once he took us out to Chesington, and it was so fun. He took us out. We went on this, and we had this. Like, we went on this boat, and it was so fun. It was like a thing that I could never forget.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much, Hani, for that. Very good message for Daddy Rashid. I think you can hear that. Very nice to hear some of these things when you are still alive. A lot of things, a lot of good things are said once someone is gone. This is your opportunity now to say to your daddy that you love him, or whatever else you would have wanted to say. Many have come in and probably kept quiet, never spoken to their daddies for a long time. That guilt actually sticks with you. Maybe this is your opportunity to send the message. This program is live. This program will still be recorded and therefore be available. And this is your moment probably to say what you feel about your dad. To Umar, you have the mic. About dad. Umar? Wa alaikum salam. Your name, please?
My name is Tahani.
Your name is Tahani?
Yes.
Yes, please. How old are you?
I'm 11 years old.
11 years old. Yes. Tell me about your daddy. What is his name, and what's special about your daddy?
My dad's name is Muhammad Servanko, and he's very special. Even though sometimes he has to be away for a little bit, I know that he still loves and cares for me and my siblings, and that he does his best to provide for our family.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to say that I love my granddad
Now, Tahani, is there something specific that you think about whenever you see that, or whenever you think about that, you think about Daddy? One special moment that you remember with Dad?
I think that when sometimes when he picks me up and when he's got treats us and then talks about what we want to talk, what we want to say.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be anywhere special, just like being there, which is really nice.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much, Tahani. And that is blessings to Dad, Muhammad Noor Sembambo. Thank you very much. Are you alone, or have you got your siblings? Do they have to say anything about Daddy, or are you representing them? Have you represented them?
Yes, but I am with my brother.
All right. You are representing them. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. More messages coming in. Here is Jan Chigozi. Janat Chigozi just says ka volume yongeza seka. On it, we are increasing the volume. Many messages still coming in, and I'll read them as I actually see them coming through. More messages. Let's just get another hand. I can see there was a Hajara, I think. I don't know where the hand has disappeared to Isma. There's a hand that was up. I think it's Hajara. There was a hand up. It was up and then disappeared all of a sudden. There was a hand up. But I'll just remind you that this program, again, is called Come Let's Talk. It will be a program that will be happening every Tuesday from 8 p.m. That will be 11 p.m. Uganda time. A bit late, but it would be good as a lullaby to take you to bed if you're down there. In the United States of America, it is just afternoon, and in some other places, it is already good morning. The program is Come Let's Talk, and it is with me, Kasim Kayira, every Tuesday, inshallah, from 8 p.m. online on Facebook and on YouTube live. We can actually go in. The number is +4477 205 70307. If you are in the United Kingdom and you'd like to call us in the studio and speak to us directly. I see more messages coming in. Most of the messages have gone through them. Nope, let's get to... I see another hand from Laila Kadu. Maybe you have somebody else with you. Hand is come back. Let's hear what you have to say. We are running really tight on time. I'm very sorry. People on the watch party, I can actually read out your messages because I am not lucky to have the access to do that. Yes, is that on Laila Kadu line? What's your name? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What's your name? Your name is Naila. So Naila, daughter of Laila. Yes, we are talking about daddies now. Okay.
And I wanted to say that I love my dad and he's my hero.
Oh yeah. How is he your hero? Has he been Spider-Man for you?
He's my hero because he helps me and he helps me understand stuff.
Yeah. Like what stuff?
Including the Quran.
Yeah.
My daddy's name is Akram Lule.
Your daddy's name is Akram Lule. Akram Lule, I'm sure you are listening in. I'm sure you are very proud. Message comes to you live. A lot of times we don't get an opportunity to say some of these things, and yet they actually stand out in our lives. Moment for you to be able to say, Laila, thank you very, very much for your message. More messages coming in. This one was just saying hello to Gaddafi Mayanja from what I've seen. And let's go back to Facebook. I see a couple of messages here as well. Just to remind you that the program is Come Let's Talk. It is those memorable things. Sometimes we underestimate some of these things, the importance that people bring into our lives. These people live only once, and if you don't get an opportunity to say to them, I think this program tonight is your opportunity, is your moment. We shall push in for another 15 minutes depending on what I'm seeing, the kind of interest that this has generated. We'll push it for another 15 minutes, inshallah, and we can get it. You can get the opportunity to get it off your chest in case it is all burning on you. Remember, the program is Come Let's Talk, and tonight we are celebrating fathers, alive or deceased. That number again in the studio, +44 77205 70307. Let's say Hasfa K. Hasfa K, we are talking daddies. Hasfa K. I think it's Hasfa Kasuja.
I didn't even realize I put my hand up.
Wa alaikum salam. Well, we are talking about daddies and you are here. You can't just be listening in and not say anything. I can't be alone in the studio and be lonely as well.
Oh, subhanallah.
Now, we are talking about daddies. What's memorable about your dad? Is he alive or is he deceased?
My dad died. The late Haji Aziz Tasuja.
May Allah bless him. Yes.
May Allah be pleased with him.
Amen.
He was an amazing man.
Mm-hmm.
He stood in a room and he moved. He was a mover and he did everything. He was an amazing man with a good heart. Few lessons I learned: always protect your name, your legacy, your name. Always strive so hard to protect your name.
Yeah.
And family. Always put family first no matter what. Always. Always, always.
No. Brilliant. Is there a particular moment that you remember? Is there a particular moment that you remember about him? Something that you actually stands out for you? Maybe there will be so many, because as a dad, and he was quite chatty, he was very good in talking. I know him. May God bless him. But is there a particular moment that you say actually stands out for you, that this is a moment that whenever I think about it, dad comes to mind?
Subhanallah, I remember, let me see. I remember when I finished my senior form. He sent a driver to pick me up from school.
Yeah.
And then he had told the driver to make sure he buys me stuff, whatever it is that I need. He bought takeaway, he bought chicken, he bought everything. And then he said, no, you know what? When you're coming from there, pass by the bank so I can see my daughter. Allah.
And that still stands out for you?
And many other, I can't even think of all of them right now.
No.
But I remember how he was smiling, and he hugged me, and he sat in his chair in the office. I was a big girl, but still very fond of it.
Barakallahu feekum. Malika, I can see Malika there. Malika, we're talking dads. Program is Come Let's Talk with Kasim Kayira here on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Zoom. We are going live, streaming live to you wherever you are, in your rooms or in your houses, at work. We are talking, celebrating fathers tonight. Malika, talking about father, what is special about your father? Malika? If you can unmute yourself, please. Is it unmute? Okay, let's check on Farida Hussein, because I can see so many people out there. Farida Hussein, celebrating daddy. Farida Hussein, are you there? It's gone quiet, and your messages are still coming in. People are worried. Let's see from Prince. Actually, we had, did we get Hajat Sarah? Yes, there is Hajat Bekton. Let's check on Hajat Bekton there. At the bottom, please. Oh, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ya Prince, hujambo? Salama kwema huko uliko?
Tunashukuru kukuletea mambo kama hii.
Amin.
Lakini samahani mwenzangu, unajua kama sisi watu kama sisi.
Naam.
Tumelewa na mama zetu.
Naam.
Kutoka udogo wangu mimi sijui babangu ni nani. Kutoka udogo wangu mpaka saa hii mamangu ndiye alikuwa babangu, ndiye alikuwa mama. Sasa kitu muhimu mno, umefanya program nzuri zaidi, lakini mimi sina habari lolote kujua babangu ndiye alikuwa nani.
Naam. Sasa ni kwa sababu alifariki ama alikuwa hayupo, yani hakuwa ndani ya maisha yako?
Alifariki kama niko kama miaka 4 hivi.
Naam.
Sasa kwa hivyo kila mtu anasema babaka amefanya hivi, babaka amefanya hivi. Mimi sina habari lolote kujua baba ndio nani.
Tunashukuru sana Prince. Naam, nashukuru sana.
Baba mimi najua ni mamangu.
Oh, barakallahu fikum. Tunaomba Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala ambariki, ampe baraka katika maisha yake. For those who can't understand Swahili, that was Prince talking about, we are celebrating fathers, but he says he was brought up by his mother, never got to see his father. He doesn't know his father, because his father died when he was only aged 4 years old. all his life, his mother has been his father and his mother. God bless her. God bless her for all the work. I can see another Sawia up. I think it's a different Sawia now. Yes, Sawia, again.
Hello, Dad. It's Abdurrahim and Shakil.
Is Abdurrahim and Shakir.
We love you so much, and we hope you're fine at work.
Is that your dad you're speaking to? Who is your dad's name?
Imam.
Imam who?
Imam Chiwanuka.
Imam Chiwanuka. And Imam Chiwanuka, you are at work, possibly and most likely listening in. Your children, Abdul Shakir and Abdurrahim, have called in to say they love you. What a special moment. See another message here from Said Katende. He's already been on. He says, it made me cry like a baby. Now I feel ashamed. Never feel ashamed. I think we are allowed to have these emotions. And that's why I said with programs like this, it's a different program. We are not preaching. We are just letting people get things off their chests, things that have mattered for so many years. It is amazing how much you can actually get out once you start talking. You never stop talking. Hajati Bekton, talking about fathers. Hajati Bekton, akazindaro kali joli. Right, well, we are waiting for Hajati Bekton. Hani, there's a message here from the Hani's phone. Says, my father, Al-Hajj Abdul Sebanchaye, there isn't a single word that can describe him. He was, oh, the message has disappeared. Can we try and get it back? It says, he was the best, and I wish he was still alive. I would express my gratitude towards him. May Allah grant him Jannah. These are the real things that now, for those who still have your daddy still alive, wallahi, make the best of these moments. Say to them what you would want to say. Do not wait until they are gone. Many of us would wish to say so many things, but now we cannot. One thing I remember about my father, that I celebrate about my father as well, is the number of languages. My father never went through formal education, as you would call it today, but he spoke 9 languages. As a result of his 9 languages, I've ended up speaking 12 languages. So I've beat him on 3 languages, and simply because he sent me, he was part of the process that got me into school. These are things that are just priceless. What could you actually pay? What could you put in place of something like that? The messages, keep them coming, and we shall read them as they come in. I see Hajat Zamzam. Please, if you can get Hajat Zamzam on, and we are reading your messages. And on Facebook, on the watch party, I think your messages are still coming. Remember, you can even still send them via my Facebook page on Kasim Kayira, or just 75 W Radio. Just look for www.75wradio.com or call us in studio +4477 205 70307. And your messages are still coming in a lot. Claps from Asuma Nyirabahizi in the United States of America, in Portland, Maine, all the way thus far. Abdullahi Guyo Umuru, Kalemire HK, and 6 others are perfectly on here. Shami Senku, Muhammad Katumba, and Gloria Nabai, who have already mentioned. The message from Nambadu again, my dad Al-Hajj Abdul Nsereko, I'm proud of you, proud of us, and proud of us as a family. Zoera says, my dad used to call his girls Bararo. I can imagine the noses. May Allah reward him, Haj Kajumbi, in all that went astray. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive him for his shortcomings. That's from Zoera. Shatra's iPhone, please. Let's hear from you, celebrating daddies. Shatra's iPhone. Shatra, how are you celebrating daddy? Hello, Shatra. Well, you are on here, and I'd like to hear your story. I'm sure, yes, I can hear you. I'm sure you would have a story about daddy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, and you are live, streaming on YouTube, on Zoom, and on Facebook. Your story about daddy, please.
Well, thank you so much for the program. It's such an amazing program. I've always listened to you. But my dad was George William Nkwanga. Most of you know him. and I never really got to know him.
What was his name? Come again, Shatra. I missed the name. His name was?
George William Nkwanga.
Oh, George William Nkwanga. Oh, yes, I know him. Yes.
Yes. My dad was a prominent soldier. He contributed to the liberation of Uganda.
Yep.
And I'm so proud of that, even though I don't know much about him because he died when I was young. And but one of the things that I really appreciate is that he gave me a fighting spirit. As in, I never ever lose hope in anything.
Yes.
And the other people that, sorry, I'm getting emotional. I've had many fathers, and some of them are Haj Aziz Kasuja, Haj Mahabuba Semakalu, and Haj Fazal Jingo. I've never ever lacked anything in my life.
Wow.
Because whenever I needed anything, you are always there to help.
Wow.
To help my mother and my sisters. So I'm so grateful for the fathers that they are in my life.
Oh, bless you, bless you, bless you. And I knew your father. Well, I was young. I knew him very briefly, but I know his contribution, how he controlled huge parts of Kampala, while Andrew Takome Kayira controlled the other parts, and that was before the NRA actually came in to take over Kampala. It had to be a negotiated settlement between the three groups, Andrew Takome Kayira's group, Nkwanga's group, and Yoweri Museveni's group, who now took over Kampala on the 26th of January. Actually, Kampala was captured on the 25th of January 1986, but they decided to keep it until the 26th so that it doesn't coincide with Idi Amin's takeover of power. Someone on the line, and while we take you in, I think it is Beka Chiyinji, will hear from you about your dad. Meanwhile, there's a message here from Shatra Kabarisa, who says, there is only one wonderful dad and I know, and that's mine. Because of the care and the love that he gave me, I love you, Daddy. Raymond Hakim Rugumayo. That is understood. On the line, Beka Chiyinji, talking daddies. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming up with such a wonderful program, wonderful topic, especially, and it's, I think, timely regarding to what's happening to the community. And I think many people underestimate the effect of a father. You know, I think fathers sometimes tend to literally go unnoticed, or we have fathers that are nowhere to be seen, but sometimes one losing a father at a very young age, which I did, and growing up without a father, it is actually a roller coaster of a life that you literally embark on, you know. And people tend to, some parents tend to maybe kind of like have misunderstandings, and then they end up divorcing, and when they divorce, they don't want, the mother doesn't want the father to have anything to do with the children, but parents need to understand that once, like, sorry, the father, even if the father is not providing money, even if the father is not giving anything to this child, time is also more important than the money is going to give, because the memories literally help one when they're growing up. So I lost my father at a very young age, and I came to the United Kingdom actually. I was just moments after my dad had passed away, and literally I remember all the memories that we had when I was young. They were like wonderful memories, and literally I wouldn't change anything for that, you know. But obviously you try to kind of like, you wish that you had to, like, you could literally like grow up. I wish that I grew up with a father figure, you know, someone I could have, so many, as you're growing up, so many things, you have so many challenges you're faced as a youth, as a young man, as a young adult, you face so many challenges, and being that there's no father to kind of like turn to. Was as much as mothers bring up, yes, mothers do a good job, and literally my mom was like the father and the mother, you know, which I really literally like thank her for that. But as well, when I see parents that when fathers are still alive and they're not being there for their children, it's actually mind blowing. It's literally like, it's unimaginable. And being that like a youth leader, I speak to so many youths, and also then the challenges they're facing are literally their fathers not being there. You ask them, why are you doing that? My dad wasn't there for me. It's like, why are you doing that? Why is no good, man? Forget that, man. Family. It always goes back to family.
the children's lives.
Even if
Yes.
the mother keeps you away, literally just go back, find time. Even if you're broke, even if you don't have no money to give to your children, just find time to give to your children.
Now, Becca, you said your father. Becca, you said your father died when you are quite young. Do you have any memories of him, or you never saw him? Were you too young to understand anything?
I was 12 when he passed away. I was 12 when he passed away.
12 years old.
When he passed away. Yeah, I was 12 years
Oh,
old.
that's quite grown up. At least you can have some particular memories. Is there something that stands out that you probably, that vague memory that you have of him? One thing that probably could stand out.
There's one time we went to Sheraton. He took me to Sheraton Hotel, and literally we were doing sightseeing and everything. We went inside, we went out and about Kampala, and we went to so many places, he bought stuff. So I remember that day out, I went with him, and I've still got the pictures that we took, and it's literally amazing, you know. When you look at those pictures, you know, they bring back memories of your father. You tend to see so many memories come up, you know. But then obviously there's a gap also that's there that sometimes we forget, and it's actually painful, but you know, it is sad. And I really thank you very much for this topic, because literally, hopefully, fathers that are out there will get to actually acknowledge their role
and be there in their children's lives. Thank you very much, Beck. I'm only stopping you because of the very many people that are still up. Lovely, very, very much. At least there is something that is still standing out. There is a Dora Rubega at Wonjiri. We'll be coming to you, but first I'll read this message while we are unmuting Dora Rubega at Wonjiri. Here is prettiest ZK, who says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear, my lovely father, Haji Rutare, you are a blessing and will always be the best dad in the world. May Allah bless you with Jannat Firdaus. Hamza Sadi says, MashaAllah, what a good idea to have this watch party. To the messages, and Muzammir JJ says on Zoom, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everyone on this program, I felt this amazing moment I use this moment to thank my dad, who built a very strong foundation for us all. May Allah continue to pardon you always. We thank you for making us who we are today and persistence on raising us upon deen. May Allah grant you everlasting Jannat. Allahumma Ameen. Oh, that's quite a strong message there. Dora Twanjirire, speaking about daddies, what's your story?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I thank you so much for organizing this. My father is late Rubega Abdul Noor from Bararan, Nyamitanga.
Yes.
And I'm here to appreciate fathers.
Yes.
My father was the most kind and happy human being I've ever seen. Always kind and laughing to everybody, and I adapted that from him. He had no grievance with anybody. Like at some point, I remember those days when like land wrangles, when we had land wrangles from our like uncles and everybody, people how we grew up.
Yeah.
We grew up on our grandfather's land, and so we had like minor issues. My dad would always, win these cases and give them that part of the land that they always wanted. And it made me know that a father should always be kind to people and to the children, and yet a defending factor. Like he was the most defending factor to the family, defending the children. Like if you made a mistake, he would discipline you, but if you went out there, he would say, my child would not behave like that.
Dora, so do you have one special moment that stands out for him? One thing that actually, like hits you hard? That's one particular moment that you remember so well about Daddy.
Well, my daddy never asked anything from me, even when at that point that I would afford. But every time that I miss about my father, for me, he's being kind. That today, right now, I always think of my father, and I'm like, if I called my father right now, if my father was living, I know exactly what my father would say. He would just laugh and say, ha ha ha, assalamu alaikum. Or he would always be happy and kind to everybody. So I just call upon all fathers out there to express this to their children and to be that defending figure for their children in their lives.
Oh, bless you. Thank you very much. And you are all the way in the United States where you are commenting. In Kigali, Rwanda is Kamaire Sevalante. He speaks in Kinyarwanda, says, Komera cyane, reka mvuge ngo umwaka mushya muhira. Ahubwo nari kwifuza ko numva icyo uvuga ku mubyeyi wawe. Yari kuba chance nziza ariko ubutumwa bwawe bwahageze na bubonye. Message here from, I think it was a very good message from Omar, who says, my father, Abdurrahman Yunus Iga, I think that is Kalantani, is a phenomenal man and role model. He's a father to the community. I can't express the love and gratitude my siblings and I have for him. If I was to describe him in 3 words, I would say he's genius, he's generous, he's funny, and he's forgiving. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless him. Let's go to, is it Khalum? There is Khalum. Khalum at the very corner there. Yes, Khalum, you are live on 75 W Radio with me, Kasim Kayira, and the program is Come, Let's Talk. Celebrating fathers. What's your story?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you all?
Alhamdulillah, we're good. How are you? We are celebrating fathers. What's your dad's story?
I don't know my dad very well.
Right.
I don't know much on a personal level. I've seen him once in the past 5 years, but like, I still appreciate him. I love him very dearly, and I know that he loves me as well because I'm still in contact with him. And yeah, I just wanted to know that wherever he is, whatever he's doing, I'll always love him.
Right. You haven't seen him in 5 years. That's the last that you saw him. You're using this opportunity to say to him.
I saw him this year.
You saw him this year.
But before then, I hadn't seen him
for 5 years.
Since 2015.
Yes. Are you able to understand why he's not been able to be around your life?
So a part of me is, a part of me isn't.
Yes.
I understand because he has a job, he has his own priorities, he has his own life. It's not around, it doesn't always revolve around me. But I just would have wanted him to like visit me at least once a year if he could.
If you had a chance to speak to him now and he's listening or watching us now, what would you say to him? Speak to him now as if you're seeing, because he will watch, he will be listening to this. What would you like to say to him?
Hello, Dad. I love you. Thank you for texting me. Thank you for all the birthday wishes throughout the years. Thank you for being a nice person the times I saw you. Thank you for letting me know that you love me.
Amen.
I love you very much.
Oh, brilliant. Lovely. Thank you very much, Khalum. Message here from Mutagubia Ashraf on Facebook Watch Party. Muhammad Mutagubia Ashraf says, Masha Allah, one statement I can make. I am the Sheikh. I am because my father refused to accept my lesser form of Sheikh. May Allah give him Jannah. Without that, without any doubt, that is the sole cocktail that you actually end up serving us. Ashraf Mutagubia, greetings to Dad. Message here, Akram Sulaiman Lule. Let's have you, please. Akram Lule. Akram Lule, you're live on 75W Radio. You're live on Come, Let's Talk. What's the story of your dad? Hello, Akram. It's not happening. Let's hear from Zowera while we sort you out. Zowera, you are known, please. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm so sorry, I went through the message and then I felt like Basimo Gedako is one of these men when Kulandava he's feeding people, Naina Sigalanga Musanyufu, Nagamba Mumsalile Wadia Wanene. And I've grown knowing that. And when I go to people, they always say, oh, your dad. And I feel so proud of him. And most times I feel like crying in front of people. And now I listen to Tata Wafe, I'm so proud of the girls. Ngamuli na ye nabasanga, nasanga mupano. Ngamba abonire abalalo mukaga. So he was so proud of his children, and he's this one person that I know. And Fetu Kuzenga Bulimana Soloza. I didn't know what just saying we're not begging or anything. So Sasule. Up to now, and other people
Amen.
and I'm sorry, I'm so
Allahumma ameen. Allahumma ameen. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks for that very powerful message there. Here on Facebook watch party, Mzee Kayira says, Masha Allah. That should be my brother there saying, Masha Allah, appreciating the program. And just like I said, we are live streaming on YouTube, on Zoom via Ummah Connected, and on 75W Radio on Facebook, as well as on my own Facebook, Kasim Kayira at facebook.com. Messages from same messages, I think, that are still more coming. We were trying to get Akram Rule. We had tried to connect to him. I think we should be fine now to unmute him. Akram Rule, you have the mic. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Celebrating fathers.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Thumma salatu wa salam ala rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Uzi Sega Kayira ne abatuuliza mwenna connected ne baganda bonna abawuliza so kwebaza Allah tabaraka wa taala n'okusaba Allah sokusasira emibiri na Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Uzi nkwebaza nnyo Sega Kayira kubanga otegese nsoma buno ogera ku bazadde baffe batata baffe abamu abalamu abamu ate nga ba Allah yabazibula. Nze personally speaking tata wange alhamdulillah Allah yamujula era shortly after walk Seka
amanyage yani sebo
akra tata
yes
tata Haji Sulaiman
yeah
oba Haji Sulaiman bujirita
naam Allahumma rahimu naam
Allahumma arhamhu
wasqulu fil janna naam
naye abadde musajja mukwano gwange abadde mukwano gwange era nze personally era mu bulamu bwe tubadde twogera nnyo era nga issues zonna zinanjagadde okumugamba nazimugamba nga tunyumya nnyo ku ssimu era ngamugamba nti Haji nakusiima dda byotukoledde era asaba Allah tabaraka wa taala akusaasire era nga naye atanziramu nti Akram naffe tukwagala era tukusabira. Naye one of the things taata wange kyenamusiimako nti none of us abaana be tubadde tumanya ani gwasinga okwagala nga Haji bw'ogenda ewaka nga buli muntu amulaga nti nga ffe nga tugenda ewaka different times nga nze mukulu wange Abdulbasi ngagenda waka nambuuzako ne maama ne muganda wange Haruna ne baganda bange bonna naye nga buli muntu wagenda ewaka Haji buli muntu aliwo agamba nti nno ate yasinga basinga okwagala ng'ayinza okugamba maama nti nno bannaye mulindeko Abdulbasi tannaluuka emmere abadde ali mu kkuba agambye ajja ninde kajje which was the same thing you would do nga nange kugambye nti na Haji.
Parents are very good at that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tusaba amuwe ekiwumula ekyemirembe amusasulemu ekisinga obulungi ate amutaasa ebibonyobonyo bya kabuli. We have a very global audience. We have people all the way from Australia, from the United States of America, from the continent of Africa. Actually, the 54 countries or 55 countries on the continent of Africa. You had a person from Sierra Leone. So whenever you can, please, if you can speak in English, so that your message can go across. But I'm sure Akram, your message was well understood. Hajara Nansereko, you have the microphone, please. Thank you very much, Akram Rude. Hajara Nansereko, please. Your dad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi
wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah, Sheikh Kasim. I appreciate your program and everything you're doing and the explanation you're giving. I want to differ. I write a book about my father.
All right.
He's very honest. He's very kind and just. But I want through you to make a program to make a sensation about prostate among the African men because my dad has prostate and I don't know how that will.
Is that prostate cancer?
Yes.
All right. No, definitely. I mean, this is a program, like I said at the very beginning, Hajara, have heart. This is a program that will just delve into every subject: arts, politics, science, environment, inshallah, every Tuesday, and we will be hearing from people, especially from personal experiences, either as a person who is a patient or a victim of a situation, or as a person who is looking after the person, especially what you've had to go through. So that, inshallah, I can promise it will happen when the right time comes. We will make provision for that. Already you are giving me ideas for the next program, which for me I think is absolutely welcome. What do you remember about your dad? You haven't mentioned your daddy's name.
My dad is called Kata Sulaiman Mutumba.
No.
He's born in Mukono. The village is called Nakagere Kerere.
Amen.
So, one person here on the Zoom knows him. I will not mention his name. But that's my dad.
Okay. And well, this is a question I've been asking everybody on the program, Come, Let's Talk. And the question was, is there a particular special moment that you remember that makes your dad, that special person? And just while you are at it, while you are at it, I just wanted to flag the number. You can call me in the studio now.
The most aspect about my dad was that he emphasized education, in that he would pick the reports from school himself.
He would pick the report forms from school.
From school himself.
So you wouldn't lie about the performance, like Sam did.
And one time my sister changed the position from 7th to 2nd because she was 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And my dad went to school, so he was asking the report, the list for all the students in her class, and she compared the performance. And she saw that there were kids above my sister, and then she called and picked her before the assembly. So he was really into education, and I can see the products of that. So I'm proud of that.
Oh, barakallahu fikum. Inshallah, we shall talk to you again. Barakallahu fikum. Let's hear from Kasim Jumba all the way in the United States of America. Kasim Jumba, we are speaking dads. He's at the bottom there with the photo. Kasim Jumba. We are talking fathers. Kasim Jumba, are you there? While he's at it, let's try and get somebody else. Kasim Jumba, we don't have you. There is Hajat Zamzam there. Hajat Zamzam. About daddies. Hajat Zamzam, if you're there. Oh, I can see Zabra Kasuja. Oh my God, that's a long time since I heard from this person. Zabra, if you're there, you have the mic to tell us about Dad. We are talking about Dad, and the program is Come, Let's Talk. It's a program that will be running every Tuesday, inshallah, starting today with our launch. A very emotional program, and I thank you all who have participated both on YouTube, on Zoom, and on Facebook, 75 Derby Radio or Kasim Kayira at facebook.com, and as well as Ummah Connected. That is via Zoom and YouTube. Zabra, please. You have the mic. Let's go to Mariam BK. Mariam BK. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Special dad. Now, we can hear you well.
Sheikh, is Mariam Kenya.
Naam.
And my dad is Haji Nirigo.
Oh, bless him. Yes.
It would only be unfair if I don't call to say thank you to him.
Yes.
And to say that I love him and I appreciate everything that he has done for me and for the family.
Allahumma ameen. That's very kind. That's very special of you. And Hajj has had health issues over the last few days, and therefore he needs all the prayers that we can actually send across. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless him and take him away from his afflictions that he has been afflicted with. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept that.
Thank you too for your endless friendship between my parents. We as children greatly appreciate.
Oh, brilliant.
May Allah reward you too.
Allahumma ameen. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Program is come.
Omar has given you salam too.
Oh, the salam has reached. It's live and streaming here online. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'll try Zabra Kasuja now if she's available. Thank you very much, Mariam. May Allah bless you and say hello to your mom. Zabra Kasuja, I don't know whether the line is still refusing. Zabra, please, if you're there. If not, then let's try Galaxy. There's Zahra at the bottom there, near the bottom. Zahra, you have the mic. Zahra. Oh, it's all gone quiet. Is Malka available now? There's Chikomeko Ismail. He put his hand up and then put it down very quickly. Oh, I think I've seen Zabra Kasuja there. Yes, Zabra, you are live. You are live here on YouTube online, and they can see you fleeing away from the camera. But we wanted to hear from you. We are celebrating daddies now. If not, let's try. There's a message. No, we've already, I think, heard from them. Zabra, are you there? I can hear you've left on the mic and you're not there. Let's try. There's Nuhubuye. Yes, there's Nuhubuye there. I think he was up and then he disappeared for a bit of time. That's the blue mark there. Yes. Imam Nuhubuye, all the way in Dundalk in Northern Ireland. This is how far this program is traveling. Imam, salamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Are you there? We are celebrating daddies. Or is it your children who want to celebrate you?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, my brother Kasim Kayira.
Yeah. Nice to see you after a very long period of time.
Alhamdulillah.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Nah, we are celebrating fathers, sir. We are celebrating fathers. Mm-hmm.
Dundalk is missing you.
I will be in Dundalk once the lockdown is over, but it looks like in Northern Ireland now, you've taken it one notch higher now. It is more difficult to come there as opposed to be. Inshallah. Yes, inshallah.
First of all, I recommend and congratulate every member who has participated and Ummah Connect and all the sheikh who are behind this program. I'm very thankful, first of all, for Allah for giving us a life and all for our fathers. And my father is Alawi Mubiru, as you know from Mokozi Maokota. That's why he's a great father. What I learned from him and all our grandfathers and fathers is that fathers have done a sacrifice for their children and for their family. But unfortunately, always it is hard for the children to understand, to see that sacrifice. And the sacrifice, sometimes we recognize it at a later stage when sometimes we become fathers or become individuals who have God. But at all particular time, they are always sacrificing something. So that is very important. But as my brother Sheikh Kayira, again, I would like to take this opportunity to send a congratulation to recognize again your father, our father Sheikh Kasim Kayira. In one way, which is the aspect that you remember when we were still kids in Katwe Primary School. He did something very great, your father. That stood out that when we met to come back and remember one another, he did something which that he gave you with your brother. You were always in a distinct, clean uniform. You remember those uniforms?
Yes.
Uniform.
Yes.
So that was a father who made sure the time I spent with you, mashallah, you were very clean, nice, and very unique uniform.
Allahumma ameen. Barakallahu fikum. Thank you very much, Imam. Wa alaikum salam. And something special actually that I've remembered about my dad, because we were so many kids, and one thing that he would actually do, one thing that was special about our family is he would go to Nightil in Ginger, order a whole jora, the whole jora of material, and everybody would get 2 bed sheets when they are going to school. You can count 30 kids. Food time, we all sit around that, meal time, all of us are sitting around. Mothers, 2 mothers there, one who will be responsible for the kitchen on the day, and dad is sitting up on the table. 33 kids all finish eating, and all of you have to say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Sebo, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Nyabo. 2 nyabos, you cannot imagine those 33 times, 3 times. That is dad, 2 mothers in there. There is no way the blessings wouldn't come into the home. These are memories that you cannot. Actually, they are priceless. What sort of price could you attach to something like that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them. Rubega Emmanuel on Facebook watch party says, hongera sana somo kwa kipindi hiki, umeniletea kumbukumbu nyingi za babangu aliyefariki miezi miwili iliyopita. Rubega lost his father 2 months ago, and he says this special program has actually brought back very huge memories that are actually staying with him. That is the impact of a program that is well thought out in a time like this. On the back of the loss of one of the huge pillars in our community, Haji Sulaiman Kavuru, and we're thinking maybe we should be appreciating our fathers. Message here from Farida Mutesi, who says, great program, Masha Allah, Tabarakallah. Lots of messages actually coming in on via Facebook. Good discussion of celebrating dads. Big thank you to Kasim Kayira. This is from Asuma again in the United States of America. He says, being a dad is a big privilege. You who are fathers, please enjoy it and do your best to leave good memories in the minds of your kids. I'm sending my salam to my dad, Haj Saidi in Kigali. We used to call him Saidi Speri Baze, or Super Bazin. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it. Let's go now to the hands. Hajar Anasereko, we had finished with her. Dora. There is Hamed Mediz. Hamed Mediz is there. Hamed, you are live on 75W Radio and Ummah Connected via Zoom and YouTube. Your mic. We are celebrating dads. Your name, please, because it says Hamed. I don't know whether that's your right name. Hamed? We can see you, although you are in the dark. If you can hear us, you already unmuted. You can go ahead and speak, please. If not, let's try. I can see Waltham Islamic Society. Who is that? Waltham Islamic Society? Oh, disappeared. Oh, right there. Waltham Islamic Society, whoever is on, please, your name and just go ahead. You have the mic. And we are going to take another 15 minutes and we'll be over. At the top of the hour, inshallah, the program will be done. Thank you very much. Here is Hajara Nasareko, who says to everyone, Mr. KK, thank you so much for creating a platform to appreciate dads. It's always mothers and girls. I am also indebted for the program, one in a kind. Please continue using your great wisdom for the benefit of the community. And special thanks to all fathers. The only unconditional love from a man is from a dad. Farida Ntege says, Sheikh, please pick Sheikh Abbas Njuchi. Abbas Njuchi, yes. Abbas Njuchi, you are live, sir. Is Waltham Islamic up? We will come to Sheikh Abbas Njuchi off the back of Waltham Islamic Society. Waltham Islamic Society, please unmute yourself. Waltham Islamic Society, your name, please, and your daddy's story.
My name is Yusuf Lubega. I'm sorry, it comes under Waltham Islamic Society. From Boston, Massachusetts.
All right, bless you. Yes.
My dad passed away exactly 2 months and 10 days ago. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
Allahumma ighfir
One of
lahu.
the most painful experiences in my life, but alhamdulillah, I grateful to Allah that we got to spend a lot of time with him. Lots of beautiful memories, and I'll forever love him and miss him.
Amen.
So I have actually two briefly very memorable moments. One of them I was in primary 6. I had started sort of misbehaving. I didn't want to go to school. So one day he gets to learn about it, and he tells me that we're going to have dinner together. I was within striking distance. I thought he would actually beat me up, but he was very kind and gentle. He asked me what was going on, why I didn't like school, and he handled it very nicely. Up to now, I still remember that. I was like, oh my God, It was very nice. I wanted to be eating mangoes and not attending the Muslim primary school because the teachers were beating us a lot.
Yes. No, I remember that. We went through that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him and bless you as well for as long as you live, at least to continue praying for him. Because like we said at the start of this program, it's really a child who takes over the mantle from a father when they go away. And actually, therefore, it is absolutely important that we make everything possible to ensure that we make life what it should be for them. Message here from Disan Mwanga Chibuka, who says, I'm watching all the way from California and enjoying the program all the way. Abbas Njuchi, Sheikh Abbas Njuchi, please unmute yourself, and you are live on 75 Derby Radio and on YouTube and on Zoom via Ummah Connected with me, Kasim Kayira, and the program is Come, Let's Talk. Sheikh Abbas Njuchi, Adad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala oluvanyuma nebaze nnyo mukadde wa Kayira n'abasiraamu bonna abaliko ku programu eno olw'ekigambo ky'okubeera nti nno muleesa olunaku nga luno olw'okubeera nti at least tubaako kye twogera ku bakadde baffe nekitubajjukirako.
Sheikh Njuki sebo just nkujjukizaamu ti program teriiko basiraamu bokka, tulina abantu okuva mu dunia yonna, and it's a mixed breed. Tulina abantu ab'engeri zonna kubanga program eno teriyo taata omusiraamu tayawukana na taata mukatuliki oba muprotestant, nabwe kityo as a dad bonna tuba celebratingira wamu, just kubadde kujjukizaamu mukama wange katono ako.
Okay, yes. Sebo neyanziza mukadde wange neyanzeeko okubeera nti tulina abantu bonna abali mu community yaffe yawana, especially ndowooza n'abalala bonna ku nsonga eno nsanyusa okubalaba n'okubeera nti batwegasseeko ku mukolo nga guno. Ebintu bingi nnyo ebijjukirwa ku mukadde wange gwayita Hajji Taibu Njuki. Omusajja oyo yayagala nnyo abantu, naye ku mulundi gumu nagenda nenfuna obuganzi nti lumu yantwalako ku mawuledi. Gyenzijjukira nti mawuledi eyo yeyagirwako n'omusajja yasoma ennyo Qur'ani, Abdul Bast. Kati bwantwalayo ebigambo by'abasheeka abasinga obungi bye baayogeranga nga mbikwata, saamanya nange nti mbikwata naye nabikwata. Bwe tudda eka yanyumiza maama nti baseeka bayogedde balina ebaagambidde, oze taata baagambye bino nga nze mbireetawo n'aga nti ono omwana gwe naatambulanga naye omwana gwe naagendanga naye ko bitegedde otya nga womanyi ngalinga kasuku
ng'orikodinga live. Yes.
Yewuunya nnyo muzaira we yava n'aga nti omwana ono Abbas mumulonze mu baana ngenda kumutwala asome eddiini. Era kwe kubeera nti yali entandikwa yange n'antwala nemba nti nsoma, Allah nakkiriza kwe kubeera nti ntuuka wano. Mu bimu byemujjukirako ebirala ebyali ebyamaziga bwe yalinga nakoze omusango gwonna nga buli wampa chance okuwoza sisobola kuganga wanga nti omuga taata naye kankubuuliremu ebibadde nga nti kale saavangawo nga bunsinze wabula nga nze nsinze kaganga alaba right kaganga nabadde erinaku kaganga n'okuwona kibooko kati yakola bino bwe naabanga mulina emisango gye muzizza ndi mulongo ne waswa siragi brother ali Coventry n'abalala Janet ali Germany ng'aga nti kati we nabanga mulina emisango gye mukoze gwe sigenda kukkiriza kuwoza.
Obwalo yawa butandika dda mangu otyo.
N'akola bwatyo kati olumu n'aga nti gwe togenda kuwoza babukubi bali baakiri bo bawoze. Namuga taata ekyo si kituufu. N'alikozesa ekigambo fair naye nabyo ky'oluzungu nga sikimanyi. Namuga taata ekyo ky'onkubira si kituufu. Allah yankuba emiggo buli kwansanga bonna ne mupulukako n'enziruka nga neetoolera enju nga bwe mbengu. Ne banteeka kagaali mukajjukira bakwata emikono n'amagulu ne bankuba kibooko naga tandika okubira enduulu bajje bankola ekibamusingawo bamanyi. Kale ebyo ebigambo mbijjukira nnyo omuzeeyi wange.
Barakallahu fikum. Haji Njuki nkwesonyiye just lwa abantu kubanga eddakiika ziweddeyo ayenda bawakyaliyo emikono mingi egiriyo. Barakallahu fikum sebo, webale kusharinga. Thank you very much for sharing that inspiring story, and I knew there would be nothing short from what we would be getting from you. Let's try Nax here. Nax is there just after Hajat Sarah. Next. Yes, please. Nax, we are speaking about dads. A quick one about your daddy. Nax, please unmute yourself. Nax? Malka? Messages, I can still see some messages that are filtering through from on our page. May Allah grant your father Jannat Firdaus, Allahumma Ameen. Be strong. That was a message to one of the brothers who spoke about the loss of his father 2.5 months ago. I think Haj Sulaiman Wijirita. Another one was talking about, if I speak about my father, it would take a whole day. My dad needs an hour maybe to describe him. But I always fear talking about fathers because, like the norm, is to talk about mothers. I love my mom as well. That's someone who is really scared and running about it. I remind you, this is a program. It's called Come Let's Talk. It will be happening, inshallah, every Tuesday, and we'll be taking a different topic every other week. Today, we launched the program specially speaking about celebrating dads. Not that mothers are not there, but a lot of times mothers have their special place, and therefore we thought, let's start with the fathers on the basis of a calamity that had befallen our community just within a day, and we thought we should do this. It's Come Let's Talk is the program. It will be live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Zoom every Tuesday 8 p.m. going forward. Studio line, if you want to call us, it's +447720570307, or just look for www.75wradio.com, or just look at Kasim Kayira at facebook.com, and we can get talking. I think we're getting to the end of our program. I thank you very much for having been around on the program. We've kept ourselves busy. We haven't stopped talking for the last 2 hours. Farida Hussein, let's hear from you. What do you have to say about daddies, please? Farida Hussein is just across there. Yes, please. Farida Hussein, about daddies. What's it about your dad? Is it unmuted? Farida Hussein just disappeared. Oh, he's there just in the corner. I think he's still there. Right, number 2 at the bottom. Yes, Farida Hussein, you have the mic. Okay, let's look for somebody else. There was a hand. Oh, Muslim child has already had an opportunity to speak. Farida Hussein? All right, let's scroll down and just see those last messages as we wrap up. And I thank you very much for actually making this quite an interesting program. All I can say is that we shall do it again, inshallah, same way, same time, every Tuesday, bi'idhnillahi azza wa jalla, and we'll have it as interesting as we can. We will be having a different program all together. There is a hand from Muamini Namfuka. Muamini Namfuka, your hand is up. You just got into the last minutes. We are talking dads. Your dad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, I nearly missed it.
All right.
My dad, Allah mweshumra chembe, wechanat Firdaus.
Allahumma amin.
Naringa tula unga kapa bekatula ku the owner. Nga na yeche yagamba, kyangamba, kyezijukira, kyesiriera bila. Yangamba ba sisters bafaba mbali bafunye mbuto basatu. Nangamba gwe kugezaako nafuna olubuto n'okuntana yange oyinza obutajjako naye naŋŋamba senga tobadde babanzibula mu maama wo yanzibula mu maama wo nti okuggyako oli maama wange awo ojja kujja naye naŋŋamba ate in the end kubanga ekyo nakiwuliriza era saakola ki saakikola ne musanyusa ne mmala okusoma kati naŋŋamba nti nno senga tewali mwana muwala gwe wandizikidde naye tewabeerangawo ekisalwawo nga toliiko gw'ojjwanga okubeera asembayo okusalawo so ebyo ebintu byenzijukira
They are very, very memorable for you now. Allahumma ameen. Tusaba Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala amusasa. Ameen, ameen. Yeah, I'll just remind you, they've asked me to remind you to tune in to for the Ummah Connected program, which is on Wednesday tomorrow. Don't miss Sheikh Nkata as usual. And then on 75W Radio, there will be a program here looking at the year that is ending. 2020 has been a very, very complicated year. Alhamdulillah, we thank God for everything that He has sent towards us. And tomorrow we shall be reviewing, looking into the year, headed by Becca Chinji, who will be sitting in this hot seat here. But I will be a guest on here talking about the year, looking at the achievements, the difficulties, the challenges, and also looking ahead for those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless to be alive. It's live again on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Zoom. Message from Joy Chakwita, who is listening in. She's saying, thanks for this program, Kasim. My dad was my best friend, and I still miss him. I wish you could have mentioned his name and we would mention him on the program. Nashahat Mo says, I had the best papa. Talking about him will make my siblings jealous because he was my best friend. Everybody thinks that way. And we love you, dads. And that's from Farida Ntege, who also says, if you get Farida Hussein to speak, I'll pay you. I wish she could just defy that and actually speak and I get paid. Message, I would like to appreciate the many dads that have raised me, every one of them in a special way. Ibrahim Ruyombo, late Haji Ahmad Nsanja, late Haji Badru Kayongo, Haji Siraji Kayizi, late George Williams Mugisha, always made me feel special in their presence. And that was Sawia again. Let's take the last person now and just have 2 minutes to go. And so that's the lucky person that will have the last word. There's a message again from SM. Says, thanks again, Sheikh, for this wonderful topic. It's very therapeutic to talk about our loved ones, whether they are dead or alive. What a good way to end the year. Well, what a good way to also end the program. I'll thank you very much for the good time and keeping us company. Remember, this program is called Come, Let's Talk. It's deliberately called so because it's not about me talking to you. It's about us having a discussion. And thanks very much for making today such a special day and honoring us. We were thinking about 1 hour. We've ended up with 2 hours. Thank you very much. Program is Come Let's Talk with me, Kasim Kayira, and it will be running live on 75 W Radio via Facebook, but also we'll be connecting via Ummah Connect on YouTube and on Zoom, wherever you are, whenever you can. Thank you very much for making my day, my night, and special message to my dad and to my kids. Have a very good night. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Until we meet again next week, inshallah, with a different topic that will be as exciting. Please make sure to make your contribution. Thanks very much for being very good viewers and listeners. And thank you wherever you are. Have a very good night or have a very good evening for those who are still in their daytime. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.